Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dustin Perry from Ghost Hunters and Ghost Hunters International, and you are tuned into the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen. It does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Hey there, ponderers of the paranormal. You have found the Paranormal Zone, your place for all things paranormal, unexplained, odd, and mysterious. My name is Patrick Koffenberg, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host with the ghosts, the paranormal poster boy himself, Michael Acarbino. How you doing, my friend? It's good to see you on this strange Thursday evening. Good to see you.
Thursday evening. And yes, I will take that as being the poster boy, and we should market that.
The paranormal poster boy. You like that,
Yeah.
huh? Okay. So, do you want me to change the usual intro from the co-host with the ghosts to the paranormal
no.
poster boy, or
No,
use both of them?
Print up posters of me with some kind of a paranormal design to it.
I understand what you're saying. Okay.
They could be. They could either be given away as freebies, or we could pay some listeners to take some from us.
Why am I like envisioning you in like some like glistening, shiny like sequins, like, something you got like tassels hanging from your sleeves, maybe a unbuttoned shirt down to your belly.
The bleached hair.
Bleached hair.
Well, I'm already getting to be that anyway.
Got to have the giant bell bottoms, maybe some platform shoes.
Yep. Some fake chest hair.
Some absolutely fake chest hair. We're going 70s heartthrob image here for the paranormal poster boy.
Very long, glittery eyelashes.
There you go. Oh man, now it's getting downright frightening thinking about that.
And one of those macrame or knitted hats made out of beer cans.
Oh, goodness gracious. That's a good idea. Yeah, this has potential. This has paranormal potential. So
Old Milwaukee beer cans.
Oh, well, I'm not sure. Maybe Pabst Blue Ribbon or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. But the good old PBR. But yeah, this is Thursday night. We usually save our recording sessions for some raucous Friday and Saturday evenings, but no, Mike has to work this weekend, so here we are on a work night for both of us. But who the hell cares? I mean, every podcaster does that, so why not us?
We do what we can, or we don't do what we can't.
Well, okay, sure. Well, for those who are new to the program, as I said, this is the Paranormal Zone, your place for all things paranormal, for certain and unexplained, odd, and mysterious. We're going to stray a bit from the Paranormal Zone format, just a wee bit, because we don't really have a plan of attack, but we wanted to get an episode out. We need to get an episode out. We always feel terrible when we miss episodes.
Next weekend, you are not going to be available.
I will not be available next weekend, exactly, and so that would have been. I might be able to squeeze something in somehow. We shall see. Don't let me forget that, Mike, because I want to talk about that before we wrap up the show.
Absolutely, because during that weekend that you're gone, I have been assuming that you're going to be doing some type of recording, filming, other such things that would make an awesome Patreon. But
absolutely,
you can divulge that information later.
Absolutely, yeah,
we can divulge it later.
Well, yeah, we're going to spend some time discussing our ever-growing and awesome Patreon page. Yes, I am going to call it awesome because, quite frankly, it is. That's a whole nother podcast world over there, but we are going to save that for for later on in the episode. But Mike, let's just banter back and forth here, man. We are passionate about the paranormal, plain and simple, and we have been for years. You have led a paranormal life.
It's been a lifetime.
It's been a lifetime. And again, if you're tuning in for the first time, Mike, it seems to be followed by the paranormal. Everywhere you've gone, you've had and experienced profound paranormal events. I mean, it's quite striking.
Big, some small.
Yeah, of course.
Some mediocre.
Some mediocre. Oh, it's just evidence of the afterlife. Big deal. Yeah. Mike just shoves it aside. But
there's that rotting corpse in the corner that all of a sudden it disappeared.
Yeah.
When I turned the lights on.
Say, honey, who was that earlier today?
I was Uncle Rodney from 6 generations ago.
Oh, that's it. Oh, good to see you, Uncle Rodney. Well, I want to give we've done episodes like this before, particularly in the past when we were the Alternate Route podcast. And again, if somehow you have discovered the Paranormal Zone after your feed to the Alternate Route podcast disappeared on you all of a sudden. I do apologize for that, and thank you for finding us again here at the Paranormal Zone. We've done shows like this on the past where they've been basically we label them special episodes because they are. We have a good time, but they stray from the normal format of the show, and this is going to be another one of those episodes. Mike and I just want to rant and banter back and forth with you tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just feed off each other. Let's just talk all things paranormal. And let's just go from there.
Feed off of each other. You mean like we each lay down and we put like a meat and cheese tray on our belly?
That's quite literal. And no, that was also disgusting. And
put a lettuce leaf on each nipple with mini sausages.
Oh my
barbecue
gosh!
Sauce.
Mini sausages in very particular locations. Yes, yeah. I can just picture that
sticking out of my belly button, and you.
Good Lord!
And you have a choice of chopsticks or no chopsticks.
Well, yeah. Well, we can do it in a very warm, hot locale. So hot that you could boil an egg.
You can eat sushi off my tender loin.
Can fry an egg on my steaming belly. I can just see that happening right
no,
now.
I gotta lay on my stomach for anything to be steamed.
Oh, come on now. All right. Well, everyone who was new has now tuned out, so that's fine.
I have an eclair between my shoulder blades just for you.
Enough. Okay. Moving on. Moving forward. We're really selling this. This has been
and
fantastic.
After you're done, you can use my toenails for toothpicks.
Oh, yellow, thick toenails. Discolored toenails.
Thickened toenails of a greenish yellowish hue.
Okay, enough. Again, if anyone was willing to give us a shot, we're not even 8 minutes in and they've already given up on it. So
okay.
We do apologize.
I was going to try to lay off the funny a little bit this time too, but no, can't do it.
You can't do that.
I'm not saying that was funny, but
it wouldn't be you, Mike. It would not be you.
Yes.
Now,
anyway, go ahead.
The first thing that pops in my brain, saying that you have led a paranormal life, which is true. Of all of your experiences, Mike, if you could pick one that was the most profound, the most meaningful for you, which one would it be and why?
It would have to be when I was a young teenager at home alone, when I saw my first full-bodied apparition of the young girl in the house. That was meaningful because it was the first apparition and the profound immensity of it.
Yeah, that works.
It was huge.
Well, okay, first off, full body apparition. Hello. My gosh.
And the detail of it, complete detail.
Yeah, Mike has told this story a few times on both podcast titles. And, the thing that I've always said after each retelling of it, Mike, is it's more impressive each time hearing it because the details never change. And
they won't because
that's what it is.
What happened.
That's exactly what happened. And it was, you were at home How old were you again, though? You were a young man.
Yeah. See, that's the thing I don't always get right because it's a number.
Yeah, Mike doesn't like numbers.
I was a young teenager, 13-ish, maybe.
And you were watching a particular
Midnight special
program
on the Queen Mary.
That's
It was
right.
New Year's Eve.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, that adds to the memory right there itself. I mean,
Yeah,
how cool
awesome.
of a special was that? By the way, Mike, what a dream destination for our fledgling paranormal investigating duo that we have got going ourselves here. Hey, go follow our Paranormally Zone, the investigation duo that Mike and I are on Twitter. It's at Paranormally Zone. No, wait, oh shit, what is it? It's at Paranormally Zone 3, actually, because this show itself is at Paranormally Zone. So there you go. I want to make sure that's right. I might be giving the wrong plugs.
You shan't do that.
I shan't, because that'd be terrible. I'm pulling up my phone right now. Yeah, I was right. Paranormally 3. Capital letters P-A-R-A, Anomaly 3. Paranormally 3, and then the podcast is obviously Paranormally Zone. So there you go. Yeah, Mike and I years ago, when we first met up, and we became fast friends, and we realized that we had a common interest in all things paranormal, and we decided to become, obviously amateur paranormal investigators. Mike, we had some interesting experiences. That's for sure. We had some legit investigations.
We did.
And some legit, we believe, evidence.
Absolutely. We don't have all of that evidence to this day. But
and I won't share why, Mike. I won't share why. But
my fault.
Yeah, well, hey, he said it. He said it. So, and we are rekindling that passion. It started by doing this podcast, and hey, it's up and rolling. And Mike, the Queen Mary, what a dream location! Can you imagine? I would, if you got a few $100, and we can take a tour of that, Mike, and a couple days off, we can drive on down there or over there and do some paranormal investigating if you want. You got some time on your hands?
To where?
The Queen Mary.
Oh yeah. Well, it'd be a heck of a drive.
That's what I'm saying. You got a few days.
Yeah. I've used up all my PTO.
I know. I hear you.
This damn illness. No, not illness. Pain.
This ailment. That's what you have.
Ailment.
Yeah, Mike is unfortunately, not only is he a paranormal poster boy, he's a damn near paralyzed paranormal poster boy. So that's tough to say. Say that 3 times fast. Paralyzed paranormal poster boy.
Nope. Cannot do it.
So yeah,
yes,
anyway.
I went to physical therapy yesterday, and boy, did it about do me under.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm suffering.
Yeah, send Mike some positive vibes, man. They could work. Get enough positive energy flowing out there and focus on his back. Yeah, because Mike needs some help. That's for sure.
I need a lot of help, but
so
I digress.
Now, okay, the full-bodied apparition, of course, that was the biggie. That was the biggie. Other ones that popped in my mind, Mike, that you have shared with me. And apparently you're struggling hearing me again. Or
just a wee bit.
Yeah. Something's going on funky with my equipment tonight. Hey, maybe it's paranormal related. Who the hell knows?
Could be.
But my volume keeps on lowering itself. I do not know why. And they're hands-free. Mike, you see my hands?
Yes, absolutely.
So when I put the show together, I'll have to make sure that everything is audible. Yeah. And that's important for a podcast, making sure that the listeners can hear it.
It is.
That's a lesson number 1. Make sure people can hear you. So,
unless it's video as well, and they can read our lips.
Very good, very good, very good. You also, Mike, have said that you've seen a damn shadow person.
I have. That was quite interesting.
And again, it was just another
I'd heard
casual,
it as well as seen it.
Another casual experience. Yeah. Retail that briefly, Mike.
Well,
I just said retail. Retail like you're selling it. I mean, retell it. There you go.
That was actually in the afternoon. It was daylight out, and I was sitting in my living room in my easy chair, and the couch was on the other wall to the left of me. And I heard what sounded like something brushing up against it. Well, so yeah, I heard that. And so I looked over right away, and I could see like the top of a head, but it was all black, like a shadow. And it was more than the top. I mean, you could tell it was a head, but you couldn't see the whole head. but as soon as I looked over there, it ducked really quick behind the couch, and I heard it move. I heard it brush up against there, and I got up right away and looked, and there was nothing there. I know the kids weren't in the room anyway, and the dog was not in the room. It was just me and the furniture and the shadow thing.
And the shadow thing. Right? No, shadow people creep the hell out of me. I don't know why. Maybe they're harmless, but they also something. Maybe it's due to their size. I don't know. It's just
the blackness
of it.
It's blacker than black.
And when I say size, because generally when you hear tales of shadow people, they usually are smaller in size, in height, and in scale.
I have read stories where they have been gigantic.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Like massive, but more likely to be the other.
Well, you hear stories of like the Hat Man phenomenon, and the Hat Man is kind of essentially a shadow person because you see like the dark blackness, the shape of this this individual. This looks like a man with a hat, like a fedora on nearly, and that's usually full grown human size. I mean, the Hat Man's another terrifying story altogether. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would react, Mike. But that's a whole nother podcast.
I just went back to watching TV.
Did you? I know. Yeah, exactly. You're just like, and one thing I have to point out, I love how you always emphasize the T when you say TV. You're like,
do I?
You always say, "Yep, I'm gonna go watch the TV."
TV.
The TV.
Or should it be TV?
TV. For some reason.
TV.
Yeah.
TV.
Okay.
TV.
Fine. Yep. Fine. That's okay, and it's perfectly acceptable. Well, what do you have, Mike? What pops up up on your mind?
On you.
Yeah.
What has your most memorable paranormal experience that you've had? Now, this is almost a trick question.
Yeah. Yeah, again, as longtime listeners know, ding, ding, ding. I am sort of the, and I'm not saying this in a negative way. I am the more skeptical of the two. I mean, that's fair to say, right, Mike? I mean, I don't just blindly believe everything that I hear or read.
No, but you do blindly throw everything out.
Hey. And that's not true either. And I'm not playing a role. That's just me. It's just my brain block just doesn't allow me to accept things sometimes. And longtime listeners are tired of hearing that. So I'll step ding. Ding, ding, ding. Well, the first thing that popped in my brain, Mike, is our EVP capture of the It's Debbie.
Right. Absolutely.
Whatever you want to call it. The capture of the It's Debbie quote, the audio anomaly. I don't know what the hell it was, but it's the fact that we have no idea where the hell it came from. And the only explanation we have, considering the tragic history of that house you lived in, considering
with
that
a child named Debbie,
right, who was tragically killed on that location by a garage door, falling on her, killing her
back in the 70s.
And the fact that your little digital recorder captured that out of nowhere. You and I were there. We had our friends with us. You hear us talking, two friends. We'll say
I like it how
our then
people that
our
people
then
that
partners
were with us, the people that were with us have turned into friends.
I know. I don't know what to say. Okay, then girlfriends at the time.
Right.
You can hear us in the background. We're talking about. You're pointing out another odd thing that kept happening in your house, how a certain window or door, which one was it, Mike? Someone was always open all the time.
The basement door.
The basement door was always open. You would shut it every night. The next morning, it would be open.
Yep.
And then you hear me in the background.
Even if it was shut, and even while we were still up, or if that same day, it would be open again.
Mm-hmm. And you hear me in the background. I'm like, because we're talking about it, and I'm like, well, it could not just be such and such. It could be this, and blah blah blah. And I eventually say, well, or you say, well, forget it, or something like that. And one of us says, well, that's debunked,
Right.
Because that was the word of the day. Because Ghost Hunters was very popular at that time, and they were always trying to debunk
That was
alleged.
basically what we had at that time was Ghost Hunters, and that was about it, I believe, wasn't it?
Pretty much, absolutely. Yeah, Ghost Adventures didn't really take off till a couple years after that,
Right.
if I recall correctly. But anyways, you hear us walking down the steps to the basement until you can no longer hear us because we're out of earshot. We're out of the range for the recorder. Then clear as day and loud, you hear, what do you hear, Mike?
Somebody that was not us, a female voice saying, "It's Debbie,"
It's Debbie.
as in saying that is the explanation for this door
Mm-hmm.
being opened and left open. It was Debbie that was doing it.
That's crazy. And that's, to this day, it gives me chills when I think about it because even my skeptical mind, Mike, I'm like, because I'm a believer. I am a believer. I want to make that clear. I believe in ghosts. I believe that there's something after this life. I believe that there's several different dimensions out there, an infinite amount. Well, I shouldn't say I necessarily believe it full-heartedly, but I'm absolutely open to that possibility because it makes sense to me. But my gosh, it gives me chills when I think about it, Mike, because that's evidence right there. Is it not?
Absolutely, it is.
Is it not evidence of something profound? Hardcore evidence of the profound. So, yeah, I'd say that would be my answer for you on that one. And by the way,
other little.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Let me.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's fine. We have a little delay going on here. We have a bunch of weird things going on. My headphones keep going out. My recorder keeps going down. The volume level, all that great stuff. I want to get this out of the way real quick. Let's do the necessary evil, Mike, because it's a good segue talking about It's Debbie. If you want to hear that It's Debbie EVP, you can go find it on our Paranormal Zone or Paranormal Zone Patreon page. All of our old alternate route podcasts are going to be slowly removed. All of the very, 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 very old Nonsensicast radio episodes are in the process of being removed.
And those are just worth it all by themselves. I need to check out some of those.
I've had a blast. The last 2 days, I posted 2 episodes featuring me, the former co-host of mine, my fiance Bridget. Bridget and I started this podcast many moons ago under the name Nonsensecast Radio. And then we started bringing in this guy named Mike Carbno every now and then. And we started talking about ghosts and paranormal stuff and having blasts. And I posted 2 of our very oldest episodes. Well, quite old episodes, I should say. One of them is titled "This Is Haunted," when Mike seemed to be getting attacked by orbs. We're looking at each other via Skype, and stuff was happening around you, Mike. And
yeah, it was crazy.
And another one we talk about life after death, and they're fascinating to listen to. They're kind of embarrassing, because I'm such a perfectionist audio wise. It's like, oh my gosh, we've improved since then. I would hope we've improved. But that is another recent addition to our Patreon page is the archives/vault. We're going to have all sorts of awesome old episodes that are not available anywhere else anymore.
The Paranormal Vault.
The Paranormal Vault. They're not available anywhere else except on our Patreon page. Patreon page, Mike, also features exclusive Patreon episodes. As I said, we get out regular episodes weekly. We get out Paranormal Zone Patreon page episodes, as often as we can. Almost weekly. If we don't, I'm filling it up with all of our guest celebrity interviews we've had, Mike, in the past on the Alternate Route podcast. Where can we begin? You like Ghost Hunters? You talked about that earlier today, Mike, earlier tonight. Interview with Grant Wilson. Interview with Jason Haas. Interview with Steve Gonzalez. Interviews with Dustin Perry. All Ghost Hunters stars available.
Amy and Adam. Which is one of my favorites.
Amy Bruni, Adam Barry, more Ghost Hunters, now stars of Kindred Spirits.
Chip Coffee.
We've talked to all these awesome people. Ron Moorhead, famous for the Bigfoot Sierra Sound Sasquatch audio recordings, the most impressive Bigfoot audio recordings out there.
Dead Files.
Amy Allen, star of the Dead Files. Available exclusively. We're talking interviews that we've had with them throughout the years. Available exclusively on our Patreon page. Andrea Perrin, the focus, the main storyteller, the family member. One of the family members featured strongly in the Conjuring films based on a true story. That is Andrea Perrin's story. Bridget and I had the privilege of talking to her years ago. Mike, there's so much stuff on there, and I'm adding more and more
Yep.
every week. video exclusive episodes, you want to look at Mike and my beautiful faces, video exclusives, go watch us. Here's another kicker, Mike. More ghost hunting stuff, awesome ghost hunting videos, our own attempts at, yes.
We'll be popping them off as much as we can.
Well, I mean, we're
there are some
proud.
things that are being kind of worked on.
We're proud to say that we're amateurs, but you know what?
Yes.
We're getting results. I mean, my gosh, it's been amazing. It's been fun. Exclusive paranormal ghost hunting videos, audio anomalies. Man alive, blogs. And we have our paranormal blogs, any sort of blogs.
Right.
I posted a couple of those. I know Mike wants to get involved in that as well.
Yeah, I it's hard for me to get started on stuff sometimes, or a lot of the times. But and as far as like our getting back into some our ghost hunting that we're going to have featured on these episodes, like Patrick said, we are amateurs. We're proud to be amateurs. We are learning along the way, and hopefully you will learn along with us. I mean, there you go. It's a group thing. I mean, and you are all part of our Paranormally family. Absolutely. That we want to learn all this together and do it all together. And what we do, we want to share with you, and let's just learn it all together. That's a great way of putting it, Mike, because that's true. I mean, that's absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we consider all of you friends. You know, our patrons that we have right now are like the best people in the world. I mean, they're supporting the podcast. And not taken away from our other listeners. No, not absolutely not. But it's just you cannot not bring up how awesome our patrons are, though. Right. We're moved. We love it. We hope that the content is worth your time, and apparently it has been, which is great. Also, Mike, giveaways. If you're interested in artwork, you're a Patreon subscriber for $5 for 3 straight months. And you want one, I'll send you free prints of some of my artwork. I've been told it's good. I don't know. I feel weird saying that. Again, we need to get Mike's prints. We need to get prints made of your artwork, Mike, because the people are interested in your stuff. I can easily do that. It's very inexpensive to do, and I have done that before, but they all went pretty quickly. Yeah, exactly. But yes, my brother, he still wants his native with the eagle, but you don't have his address still. Yep. Give me his address, Mike, before we leave tonight. Make sure you send me his email. There. No. But a long time ago, he texted me his address to get to you, and everything just got lost. Steve, it's being taken care of, and you enjoy seeing this print online. You will love it in person. Oh, I hope so. Like all of these prints that Patrick is putting together. It's one thing to see him online and, seeing them on your tablet or phone or whatever. But when you see them in person, the prints, then I'm sure he's hand signing, right? If requested, if they want them signed, absolutely. Yeah. So, it's they're well worth it. Mike, and for free. That's awesome. With just that little bit of subscription up on the Patreon. I've been working on setting up the different tiers on Patreon. You can sign up for as little as $2 a month. There's a $2 a month, $3 a month, $4 a month, $5 a month options for you. If you pay $5, you get access to everything. But let's just put it that way. $2 you get access to. Check it out. Just go read what you get access to. I'm proud of what we've been doing so far on Patreon. It's only going to get better. And I definitely think it's worth everyone's time if they enjoy the podcast. It's a whole other paranormal podcast world. And we're not tooting our own horns. We're doing it. We're having fun. And we want everyone to enjoy in the fun. And we want to, as Mike said, grow as a paranormal family. That's no joke. Let's do this. It's pretty. Okay, so now this is starting to sound like a Prairie Public fundraiser. It does. I know. So enough with that. I said it's a necessary evil, so I needed to get it out of the way. Well, Mike, let's wrap up the show here, but let's take a quick time traveling excursion. Let's come back because we need to get to know each other a little bit more, Mike. Let's wrap off of each other. Ask me some questions. Ask you some questions. Let's go from there. Let's make this special episode kind of special, okay? Yeah, and it's kind of just like like a just a wording we put to it.
Oh,
But yeah, we can do what we can.
well, again, it's special because it's not normal.
Yeah,
This
special just is code for what the hell are we going to talk about?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Yeah, it's code for abnormal. It's not necessarily
But we pride
paranormal.
ourselves that when we don't have a subject matter, or we have just a basic knowledge of what subject matter we're going to talk about, we pull it off.
I think so. I think so. Maybe not so much tonight, but
Yeah.
we'll
Well, and we
see.
hope that our listeners appreciate our spontaneity.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I hopefully if this is your first time listening to it, stick around, give us a shot, because when we get back to the next episode, we will be more focused and back to the normal Paranormal Zone format. Mike, can you hold on for a little bit, buddy? Let's time travel, and we shall return. This is going to seem seamless because we're literally time traveling. You ready, my friend?
Absolutely.
All right. We'll see you in a second. All right. I told you it would be seamless, Mike. We're back. Well, what should we do? How should we do this? How do you want to do it? Let's go. Let's go right now. Let's do it. Let's fire
Let's
some.
go out for a Dairy Queen first.
Oh, really? We have to do that?
And
Dang
then we can time travel to do that, bring it back,
Oh, okay.
make slurping sounds
Gross.
as we eat the cherry off the top.
What the hell? That's very specific and disgusting. Stop it. Stop it.
Patrick does not joke around when it comes to
That bothers me.
noises that I
That
irritate
is,
him with.
those are nightmarish. Those are,
There's
No.
every bit of a smile or enjoyment of anything on his face disappears
it does.
immediately.
It does.
It's like he goes to a blank "I will kill you" stare.
I
have never seen
no.
the corners of a mouth turn down so quickly.
Hey, well, I'm just, I'm not, I just, no, I can't even speak right now. I can't even think of anything funny or clever to say. God damn it, Mike.
Because there is nothing.
No, well, there isn't. I just have that replaying in my mind right now. That whatever the hell you did.
But yeah, we have a couple of questions. I got a couple of questions just off the top of my head that I would like to get your thoughts
yes.
on. And
ask me those.
and you,
Go ahead, Mike. Fire away, man. Let's do this. Let's
Well-
make this fairly interesting for the listeners, because
Okay, this is gonna
we
be a
want them to
question
enjoy
for-
this.
that we could both kind of riff on, because okay, out of all the ghost hunting that we want to do and the places that we would love to go,
Ooh.
what would it take for us to say, either one of us individually or as a duo hunting group, ghost hunting group team, what would it take for us to say, no, let's not go there?
Interesting. So
How bad would it have to be? What kind of stories or events would have had to been going on there for us to say, I don't think that we should deal with that?
that's a really good question, and that's
That's something I thought about, and I was like, because I mean, there's a lot that we
I don't know if I
wouldn't say
have
no to,
I don't know if I have
or that
answers.
we would say no to.
I don't know if I have an answer to that, Mike.
Yeah. Like say,
I
take
w-
for example,
Can I
all the
say? Can I
ghost
say
hunting-
real quick? Can I say real
Okay, go
quick what
ahead.
popped in my brain? Because something did pop into my brain right now.
okay,
Bobby Mackey's. I don't know if I would go there,
that would be a tough one.
just because of the supposed and again demonic stuff.
Yeah,
As longtime listeners know, I was born and raised Catholic, and so I have dingy ding ding ding. I just can't shake this feeling about demonic possession
Right.
and shit like that. So
what I was thinking about
yeah,
for you
what were
would
you
be
thinking?
like the Exorcist house or something like that,
oh good Lord, yeah.
where that originally had taken place at.
Is that place still in existence?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
That's a good question. I don't know
That's just
either.
a thought that popped into my head.
Yeah.
But I did think anything demonic.
Mhm, mhm.
But as far as like,
That's Mike's dog that's whining in the background, by the way.
yeah,
It's not
a spectral being.
it's not a hellhound.
But if
So-
if she doesn't shut up, she shall be a spectral being shortly.
Yeah, right.
Macy, good girl, shut up.
I know.
Yes, I love you too.
I love you to death, burn in hell.
She's a
Yeah,
great dog.
yeah,
I
you're
love her.
great. You're awesome. I hope the devils
Just
tear
like
out your
a kid.
nails. Okay, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
But like Eastern State Pen or something like that, all these
Oh,
fantastic
yeah.
places we've seen on Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures.
Eastern State Penitentiary, that's where they caught that awesome not mist, but
It was like a dark shape or form that came running at him.
Right, well, yeah, it kind of went down
the
the
parapet.
it went kind of away. It formed in front of the camera, the night vision
Right.
camera, and then it kind of quickly moved away from it down.
Retreated, yeah, that's right.
Retreated. Why am I drawing a blank on what that possibly is? It's not a mist, not a
It was
plasma.
like a shape. I don't know.
Why am I drawing a blank on what that was referred to? But anyways, that was absolutely fascinating. would
Was that the
love
same
to visit
episode
that.
where the dude run came from?
With Brian Hanoi,
It kind
or
of seems like it.
I don't know. Dude, run!
We need to find him.
I found his page on Twitter, actually.
Really, we
Yeah.
need to see if we can get him on. I think that would be
great.
fascinating.
That would be great.
If he talked about his time on Ghost Hunters and what he's doing now, I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree. If he's not under lock and key by Jason
yeah.
and Grant for some reason, I don't know.
I think that we should try and reach out to him. I really do.
And I'm
If
saying
there's
that with
listeners
love,
out there
by the way.
that would like him to be a potential guest on the show, let us know.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yay or nay?
Yay or nay? As far as like a place a dream place to do an investigation.
Yeah, dream place. That's another good question.
Well, we mentioned the Queen Mary for sure. And that is legit, Mike. They do offer ghost tours, ghost investigation tours, but you have to do them in like groups of a minimum of 10 people.
Yeah, that would be tough.
And you have a guide who does it with you.
Right.
So, I mean, the whole time, if you and I paid for that, I'd be doing my damnedest to try and sneak away at any time.
Yeah.
And then we
kicked off the ship.
That's what I'm saying. We could be kicked off and never allowed to return. But
yeah, and it wouldn't be on the dock side. We'd be put out in a
Right.
little dinghy on the other side.
And pushed very harshly out to get away.
All right, get in the dinghy.
Get in
Get
the
in the
dinghy.
dinghy.
Yep. Couldn't beat my dinghy. The Overlook Hotel, Stanley Hotel.
Oh, the Stanley, absolutely.
That would be fantastic.
Yep.
Oh, there's so many places, Mike. So many. Those
Waverly
Waverly. Oh my God,
would be awesome.
man. Yeah, I mean, at the risk of just throwing out all the typical places, I mean, I think it's safe to say that we'd love to go to all of those. So
Absolutely. I would love for us to wander around in the daytime, the Bell Witch property,
and you emphasized in the daytime.
which no pun intended.
No pun
there.
intended,
Said
right.
witch. But I did notice and I did share it. I didn't know if you noticed it or not, but our wonderful listener and previous guest and friend of Pandora Blackthorn.
Her podcast.
Podcast, which we
Pandora's
highly recommend.
Pandora's Dark Carnival. Go check out
Yes.
Pandora's Dark Carnival. You can find them anywhere. I know it's on Apple and Spotify for sure.
Yeah.
She was a guest of ours, months ago. And I know you're listening, Pandora. We will not reference you by your real name right now. She prefers Pandora.
But she did an episode on on that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
very
Yeah.
Recently, her newest.
I highly recommend it. Go check it out. She is also an awesome Patreon for our Paranormally Zone account, and she shared she tweeted a great picture, Mike. She received the Paranormally Zone sticker that she is
That's
displaying
right. I thought that was pretty exciting.
proudly on her. It looked like her vehicle. I'm assuming that's what it was. So
I want one.
well, sign up for Patreon.
I did.
You got them then. You have 'em
Mary
coming.
got kicked off for some reason.
Yeah, that's odd. I'm not
Yeah.
sure
So
about that.
what did you do?
I
What
don't
did you
know.
do?
I
What,
think
what
Mary-
did she do that you kicked her off?
Mary just doesn't like me. I don't know what's going on there. So
No, she's got that. We got that figured out, and she'll be back.
say,
on.
Mike.
Yes.
A question that I have here, and I'm pretty sure I know what your answer here is going to be. But I was perusing through this awesome book of mine called Ghostland: An American History of in Haunted Places, written by Colin Dickey. It's a very awesome book.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like the cover.
yeah, it's cool.
Very good.
At one point here, he's just talking about technological devices that are used in ghost hunting. And one thing that popped out to me that I wanted to throw it out to you It says this: ghost hunts without technological devices these days are almost unheard of. One could almost say that ghosts don't exist without the technology that records them. What do you say about that?
That's ridiculous.
Well, I knew that's how you would reply, and
They don't exist without the equipment to.
see the way that I kind of interpreted that. Definitely for empirical evidence, when you're speaking that way, of course, especially if you're trying to convince a skeptic or a pseudo skeptic that there is such a thing as ghosts. If they're not recorded in any way, then yeah, that's the only way that they would exist to them.
Sure.
So I guess that's
But
kind of
as far
how
as personal experience, I mean,
right,
not needed.
right. So I don't know. I want to throw that out to you. Do you have any other thoughts besides it's ridiculous?
I think, well, I think it makes it more interesting to be using equipment. I mean, even me as a little kid with my empirical belief in the paranormal and ghosts and things like that, I had still, I would take 2 wire coat hangers and bend them into
Dowsing rods?
dowsing rods. Yeah.
Oh,
And so you hold them in each hand and they'd cross over. I was 10 years old and I was making that stuff and trying that out and enjoying it. And I remember after
do you have any memories of them actually moving on their own?
well, yeah, I mean, but was it
me
manipulating them in
right?
some way, thinking that it was actually happening at
in
the
your
time?
in your youthful over exuberance?
Exactly. After my Ouija board was burned at the behest of my mother, which I understand, it was totally fine. I remember making my own Ouija board out of paper and laying down, the letters and the yes and the no and going with that. I mean, it's always fun to use equipment. It's always it always enhances. You're gonna experience things that you wouldn't experience otherwise, but needed to experience a ghostly event. No.
Okay, so when I throw this out at you this way, are devices, and when I say devices, that's covering the whole gambit
Everything.
of devices. We're
Sure.
talking, like you said, Mike, from your paper Ouija board to the highest of high tech. Are devices necessary / needed to communicate with, for lack of a better term, the dead? And
No.
if so, why or why not? And you already answered no, so why
Again,
not?
It enhances, it makes things, you can get deeper into your communication, but like the Fox sisters, what was needed there? Tapping.
Yeah.
And
And a lot of people say that they were frauds, Mike. You have to make sure that
that they were cracking their knuckles in their toes to make
Right.
these sounds.
Right, absolutely.
Although years later there was a body that was found in the wall.
No, it's the classic tease that I think like 99.9% of all paranormal programming does this, Mike, or all cryptozoological programming does this. Let's say you're watching the latest episode, the latest special on Bigfoot, and it's 2 hours long. And essentially it's an hour and 58 minutes of debunking Sasquatch, debunking Bigfoot. And they're basically saying, no, this doesn't exist. There's no evidence. There's nothing to prove it at all. But then in the very last 2 minutes, they'll say, whoa, just recently, however, there was this inexplicable video camera recording that was picked up at whatever place that has yet to be disproven or proven. And so they themselves they're spending 99% of the time saying it's not real, but they can't go all the way themselves. They throw in that at the very end and say like, oh, well, but we did see this one thing. How many programs are like that? I've seen a ton.
And I think it's a very dinkish thing to do.
How so? Explain on that.
Well, have some more positivity throughout the show, the episode or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, don't be negative until the very end where you, during the episode or during that show, you wanted to see some positive thinking about the possibility,
Mm-hmm.
not where it's debunked or
Yeah.
until the very end and throw that out. Unless you're going to have a part 2 and it's going to be all positive.
There you go. There you go. But there's hardly
You
ever
know?
a part 2, is there? There's hardly ever a
Right.
part 2.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just one of my many paranormal pet peeves. So, Mike, you got any other questions popping up top of your head there, my
Well,
friend?
you know, I had a thought of wondering, and
I thought of wondering. Yes.
I had a good, I do have a good thought about what your answer would be to this, but I want you to move away from what your obvious answer would be
Okay.
and tell me what your second choice might be.
Mm.
Okay.
How about my
what is it-
third?
Whichever. Yeah. What is to you your most frightening or the creepiest, or the what you would least likely wish to experience in a paranormal anomaly? Now, right off the top, I know you would hate to deal with a demon.
Right.
You would hate to be face to face with a pure evil demon.
You
But
read my
beyond
mind.
that, I mean, there are
Okay.
different types of spirits or
Okay.
whatever.
So
Whether
demon
it's a cryptid or whether anything paranormal.
demons notwithstanding, so we're going to bypass that for another one. Oh, that's a good question because it's tough for me to answer now because now I have to think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. That's,
Yeah.
Mike, let's compare and contrast. Okay, Mike, say yeah.
Yeah.
And this is computer Mike.
Yeah.
So which one
Yeah.
sounds better and more clear? Okay, again, this is computer Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, now Mike.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I prefer this one.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
Now, if you pull up the flatulent mic and see if that's better on recording or for real.
Well, let's
No.
try that. Let's do that right now. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah.
Is it live or is it Memorex?
Yeah, we talked about all sorts of wonderful audio anomalies that we picked up during our amateur paranormal investigations. This is the best one. It's
That's
we
deep
still
guttural
we
sounds
still
from hell.
have no proof as to where that originated
Yeah.
from, but it's
It-
terrifying.
it's such an ominous, fleshy sound.
Oh God! So that's my answer right there. I don't want to meet like a phantasmal, like a flatulence phantasm. How's that or
Yes.
something?
Well, then never walk behind me.
Okay, that sounds good. Deal. Man, that's a
I mean,
tough
I can
one.
throw you out some examples.
Yes,
that I
please
think-
do. And let me choose.
Things that I feel that you are very creeped out on. Like one, for example, which I know bothers you, is anything that has to deal with children ghosts.
That's true. That's very true.
Like, or EVPs of children.
Yep, that always gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Gives you the creeps really bad.
It does.
Even though one of the biggest things that we have been through was the ghost and spirit of a child.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm very proud of how you've always dealt with that from day one.
Well, because the It's Debbie EVP, we still don't know, and we've talked to several of our guests about that. What they think it might possibly be. I remember talking to Susan Slaughter from Paranormal Caught on Camera. That episode will be made exclusively available on Patreon, by the way.
And she's very pretty.
Yes, I know Mike can't help himself, but
Anyway, go ahead.
I had never really thought about it, but immediately when we were talking about this, and I don't remember if we played the audio for her or not, if we just spoke about it.
I'm sure we did. I mean, the audio was so easy to bring up. There's no way that
But
we wouldn't have shared
the
it.
first thing that popped into her brain was that it was someone else, some other entity telling you that it was Debbie. It wasn't Debbie.
Oh, I never
herself.
thought it was Debbie.
See, you never did. I always thought it was like a little kid going like, "It's me, it's Debbie" type
Oh,
thing.
no. I always thought of it as
You
as
have.
more of an adult woman
Okay.
saying that it's Debbie.
See, it does sound childlike to me, though. The EVP does sound childlike, and so, yeah, that kind of threw me off a little bit when she first brought that up. But man, who knows what it was?
I think the closest that we've ever experienced an actual something actually from a child, and it would have been Debbie, would have been the fingerprints on the mirror.
The fingerprints on the mirror, absolutely.
Those were definitely children's or a child's fingerprints, face and nose print, as well as the handprint.
Lips.
Lips, nose, yep.
Again,
Cheek.
and I don't mean to keep bringing these up, but these are available exclusively on the Patreon page. Go check them out. They're fascinating. Man, what are they now? 14 years old, 15 years old.
I'm sure.
You see me, the pictures, you can see me in the reflection in the flip phone, cell phone I was using at the time. So it gives you an idea.
That mirror is in my basement right now. I wonder if those prints are still on there.
Are you kidding me?
Because I'm sure I didn't clean them off. I would never have been able to bring myself to clean them off.
Are you kidding me? I've visited you at you and your lovely friend Mary, your girlfriend. She's Mary.
More than a friend.
I know that. I visited you 3 times now. And this is the first time I have heard about that mirror is in your damn basement.
I apologize for that. I have never thought about it, but yeah, that mirror is in my basement. I will have to find it.
You have to go check that out,
man. Hope to God that the prints are still on there.
But
and then we can actually take some better photos.
Yeah.
And share them. Hopefully, I'm not going to guarantee that the prints are on there.
Of course not.
After all these years, they could have rubbed off somehow in moving it, or
they
moving from one place to another.
Yeah, they've traveled. So who the hell knows?
But hopefully,
that's crazy. But those pictures are on our Patreon page, and no joke, honest as a heart attack right now. We were there hanging out. You and I, and was it the ex-girlfriends at the time again as well? I believe so. I think I was the one who pointed them out, and I was like,
we were sitting in the living room, like talking, watching TV, whatever.
And I'm like,
and that mirror was against the wall.
Yeah.
Leaning on the against the wall, sitting on the floor. So it would have been at the height of a child.
Mm-hmm.
Which there was no ever any children in that house that could have done that.
No.
A live child.
And
those prints were not there previously.
They are. That's the thing. They were. Yeah. Because we were sitting in that living area, looking at that mirror, casually glancing at it several times, and then all of a sudden, I just happened to notice them. I sound like Zach Bagans right there. That's his favorite phrase. All of a sudden, that's Zach Bagans. But they're there. Fingerprints, smudges. What appears to be, like you originally said, Mike, like lips, smudge,
like a very distinct. Like if a child would have put their face up against the mirror, where it would have been the cheek and part of the nose and maybe I think part of the lip against the mirror, and then a hand there as well, like bracing itself. I mean, there was quite a bit there.
Yeah, they're.
I mean, hopefully, I'm not describing it as more than.
No, it's pretty cool.
I remember, but
they're pretty darn cool.
Pretty accurate.
They're pretty darn cool. Man, we had a lot of fascinating stuff going on in that house, Mike. And I'm not. I'm saying this in a totally positive way, Mike. Not teasing you. We mentioned this in our interview with the She Squatchers a couple weeks ago. That awesome audio that you captured and unfortunately, tragically, accidentally lost of those.
Out of my stupidity,
those child footsteps running up and down the stairs past your digital recorder at night.
During the middle of the night.
I only got to hear those maybe once or twice, and they're still with me, man. They blew me away.
Yep. And
man, that was fascinating. So much crazy that you saw. Both you and Pam saw like that mist like forming in your living room, in that house. I mean, my gosh, so much stuff was going on there. But again.
There was a black shadow type shape of an arm and with a hand coming out of the ceiling.
Yes.
Above where I was sitting.
That's what it was.
And then it went back up into the ceiling. And which is interesting because there's so many times that, I think of that and then I think of either the hard knocking that would be heard either on a wall or on the outside wall of the house. Always in threes, And then sometimes the loud banging, like a sledgehammer being bashed on the side of the wall, always in three bangs. And it would be either, like I said, anywhere between knocking or the loud bangs. And that would happen over a period of time, and then it quit and never heard again. But just amazing.
Say, Mike, we got a question. It was almost as if she heard us through the ether. We talked
Okay.
about Pandora, awesome Pandora listener.
See how exciting this? We got a question
Listener and
from
friend.
somebody. This eggs us on to live stream.
Well, I know, Mike. I know.
Anyway, go ahead.
That is another perk of our Patreon page, by the way, though.
Yes.
When we finally do it. I'm just terrified that no one's going to show up.
You can't be terrified. You can't know until we do it.
Well, Pandora asks, though, she says, if you could spend an hour interviewing anyone, ask them any question, who would it be and why? I like that question, Mike. I'll fire that
I
to
would
you.
say, if I can take this first.
Now, do you take that as anyone in the paranormal field or anyone in general? How do you? You can answer it either way.
Well, I don't know, because the first thought that I have is Jesus, and where are you now?
Well, and you're kind of sounding,
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I won't say it.
I would say paranormal.
Okay, yeah, let's limit it to
what we deal with.
paranormal. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have an
So,
answer?
Right offhand. Oh boy.
And this let's broaden it to dead or alive, because it's a fantasy.
Dead or alive, absolutely. It's got to be that way. Okay, you be thinking too now.
Oh, I am absolutely. Absolutely, I am.
Let's see. Wow.
I know.
A great question.
Tons of people flowing through my mind right now. Tons. I would ask Zach Bagans, why did you insist on removing your shirt at 9 out of every 10 episodes a few seasons back? But I'd wait till the end of the episode, the interview.
Why is it that every time you feel like you're possessed, you flex your muscles?
Right. Get an up close shot of my abs. I've got 3 scratch marks across my abs. Let me flex so you can see them more clearly. Aaron.
I have a burning feeling in my 6-pack. Only to find scratches.
Zach Bagans is a damn dream guest, though.
Yeah.
But that will never happen. He's like a damn rock star, man.
I feel like I have had a hot poker jab me in the left buttocks.
And I'm sad that I said that will never happen. We don't know that will never happen. It could very well happen, for God's sake. So we can absolutely. I said it will never happen talking to Zach, and then I'm retracting that because we never know. It could.
Well, actually, we've already got our toenail in the door for that.
Not
it's
with
been
Zach.
noted that we want to speak to him from the producer of the channel.
Well, that's true.
Or
hey, by the way, you know what? Oh man, should I offer the tease? Should I offer the tease or should I not? Will it curse it? Will it?
Is it something that I know about already?
Yes. Talking about the proverbial yellow thickened toenails in the door.
Oh yeah, yes.
Should I?
Oh yeah.
Should I mention them?
It's got to be a tease. It's not 100% sure, but boy, we got more than
okay.
A toenail
So I won't give names, but our listeners are intelligent and they'll be able to figure it out.
Yes.
Because I don't want to curse it, and there's no guarantees. But we're just excited because we've got our my dog's asleep and he's yelping. We've got our proverbial thick and yellow toenail in the door. All I will say, Patterson Bigfoot footage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving one name out of that footage.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one who's still alive. Thank God. You can figure that one out. That would be one of our several holy grail of guest interviews, Mike. And perhaps the most well-known, I think it's safe to say, the most well-known alleged UFO abductee.
Absolutely. If anybody has ever seen the movie Fire in the Sky.
We're not saying anything else other than that.
Right.
But man, it's pretty exciting, Mike.
Mhm.
that could happen. And you know what?
Yes.
No, it will happen.
Yeah, there's a little bit more. Yeah, there's definitely some of the thickened yellow toenail in the door,
Yummy.
but I think there's a little bit of more toe in
Toe itself.
in some of it.
Okay,
Yes.
not just the protruding toenail.
Right.
The
yeah,
actual
the part that grows so
Okay.
thick and long that you have to have a hedge clipper to get it taken off.
Okay. It's your red and inflamed and nearly infected sore big toes.
A little bit of a
Okay.
pussy smell
The,
to it.
the fleshy oozing fleshy okay.
And then when you look at it, you wonder what all those little black spots are.
Jesus, you have black
And that-
spots? Oh my
Yep.
God.
And then that red, very bright red line that goes from the corner of your toenail
I love
up your
it.
foot and up your ankle, and you wonder what is that and why does it hurt?
And those are all in the door. Those are all in the door. So.
Yes. So
God damn, oh shit, Mike, we made it to an hour. Holy crap. I feel like do you have any rapid fire?
we have not answered Pandora's question yet, have we?
No, we did
kinda
not. Good
glossed
Lord.
over that.
Well, thank you, Mike. Well, I jokingly said Zach Bagans, but that is sincerely a dream, a Holy Grail guest interview potentially. But what would I ask him? Man, you know, I would straight up ask him because I don't know if it's been revealed. He used to always. His intro to the Ghost Adventures said, "I never used to believe in ghosts until I came face to face with one." I want to ask him what that was. Exactly.
Exactly. That'd be awesome.
So, I mean, and
Yeah, well, if we get him on the show, which is another like the little toenail,
that'd be a little
almost
little
in
toenail.
the doorway with him.
Yeah. So,
That'd be a great question to remember.
does anyone pop in your mind, Mike?
Yes, actually, I would like to have a sit down with Harry Houdini
Oh my goodness.
and talk paranormal with him and ask him just what was for sure that secret word that he gave his wife to if this comes through in the seance, then you know it's me.
See, the thing is about Harry Houdini that's fascinating. I mean, there's so many things, so many.
Absolutely.
We nearly did a special episode on Harry Houdini months ago.
Well, and there's no reason why we can't.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
And definitely has a paranormal aspect to it.
Well, that's what I was going to say because he was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. He was a definite believer, but he was
Absolutely, and a big
also
debunker as well.
thank you. Also, he had a profound, I don't want to say hatred. That's too strong of a word. Disdain for frauds, fakes.
Yes,
frauds.
And he would hunt them down and
Absolutely.
and take them out.
Well, you know what, Mike? You and I have disdain for frauds and fakes too, man. Because
absolutely.
I mean, this is something that we are very passionate about, and I think it's safe to say we're speaking for millions of people. Or I shouldn't say we're not speaking for them, but millions of people. Chances are they agree with our thoughts here, our sentiments.
Yeah, and as like all of our many listeners, we have millions of listeners, so we speak for all of them, right?
Well, what I was getting at is
Kidding.
that this is something that we're passionate about, and when frauds, fakes, and whatnot are brought to the forefront, all they do, not only are they lessening and bringing down the serious study and look into this phenomenon, but they're also adding ammo to the dickhole pseudo skeptics out there.
I would hate to be called a dickhole.
And I'm sorry, but okay, I'm going to retract the dickhole part because we had an awesome chat on the Alternate podcast with a person who claims to be, well, I don't know if he accepts the pseudo skeptic title. I don't think he does.
He's an extreme skeptic for sure.
Extreme skeptic for
and
sure.
We had an awesome conversation.
Awesome time,
with
and
him.
he's a great guy. And I'm separating him from the dickholes big time because he's
absolutely. I wouldn't
super
mind
cool.
having him on again and
That'd be
another
great.
good conversation.
Yeah, it was a great conversation, great back and forth because he would present his side and then we would kind of present ours. It was a terrific discussion and it was polite and respectful.
And it was pure respect on both ends, both sides.
And so I retract that. I'm not covering all of them with a blank a blank slate there. Okay,
right.
But those ginormous pseudo skeptics who don't even give it the time.
The amazing Randy.
R.I.P. to the amazing
Joe
Randy.
Nickel.
Okay, Mike. Yeah, we're not going to. we're going to go on for about 3 hours if we start talking about, pseudo-skeptics right now. So, well, should we wrap it up, Mike, or do you have like one more rapid fire question that you'd like to lay on me here? Let's see here, because I wrote a couple down.
What is your thoughts on whether it's real or no, or just the whole creepy aspect of it, of the banshee?
Oh, what do you?
Because the banshee, that's always been just a creepy thing to me. The portent of death in a family, where the spirit of a wailing female ghost standing outside the castle and wailing and
It's
calling the name of or whatever. And if that happens in your home, then somebody is going to die.
Well, I'm not joking. I literally got kind of goosebumps up my spine there a little bit. I got the shivers up the spine when I thought about that. So that kind of tells you the answer right there.
Yeah.
It's utterly terrifying if legit and if real. And it's funny that you asked that, Mike, because when we were trying to think of topics as far back as earlier this week for the new episode, we had talked about omens and portents of death.
And the banshee is a good example of that.
And today when I was at work, I nearly, and this is no joke, Mike, I nearly texted you and said, let's just forget it. Let's go back to my very first suggestion and let's talk about omens.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped myself, Mike, because for some reason, it's going to sound silly, but I started to feel kind of eerie and weird when I was thinking about omens, and I didn't like how I felt, so I didn't send the text.
It was an omen about an omen.
That's what I said that to myself at work. I said, that was an omen right there. And then I kind of giggled and laughed a little bit and stuff, but that's no joke.
As long as I don't, like when I go into my room to go to bed, if I see a cricket wrapped in a candy wrapper sitting on my pillow,
Oh, good God,
then I'm going to start running.
Okay.
Because I know something's going to happen that night.
I don't like it. I don't.
Or most likely not going to happen that night.
Well, Michael, I'll end the show on a very simple question for you. Okay?
Okay.
I'm saying simple, and I'm being sarcastic.
Well, remember how my mind works.
And
Not so simple.
well, I'll just say it. This question is under the acceptance that there is a quote unquote God. Okay? Let's just
What?
God, God.
Okay. Yes.
Now, that being said, that being the premise of this question, what would be the one question you would ask God? Can you answer that? Can you answer that without saying like a silly joke?
Well, what would I ask him? Oh, boy.
What would you ask it? What would you ask God? I know, like I said,
that's so big and profound.
It is. I know.
It's hard to just, pop it off the top of your head because there's so many questions that you'd want to know. The first thing that does pop into my head is, do you really look like George Burns?
There you go. That could work. Yeah. How's that cigar taste? Okay. Yeah. I gotcha.
No. See, I did the joke thing.
I know
Sorry.
you did. Oh,
And
God,
specifically
you
said
devil.
no.
It's
Don't
fine.
do it.
Well, what we could do, maybe that's a teaser for a God episode, Mike.
Yes,
maybe.
let's do that because that's going to take some thinking. And
You know why, Mike? I specifically brought that up because that I would like to be our next Patreon exclusive episode.
Yes, a very special Patreon.
Because we were
episode.
talking about that back and forth. We were texting back and forth about some serious discussion of God. What is God? Is there a God? And so many awesome. I want to hurt our brain. I want to have fun talking
Yeah, we
about
can do
this.
a deep dive on that and not focus so much on the religious aspect.
No,
of God,
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Because it goes so much further than beyond that. I mean, we could touch on that for, what different cultures might think of God or in their own beliefs, but it just goes so far beyond that it'd be a pretty awesome subject matter.
No, I think it'd be great, and I think it'd be very fun, and it'd be a great addition to our Patreon exclusives. And the one question that I want to throw to you, and I'm saying it right now so I have it on record so I don't forget it, Mike. I'm throwing it to you in reference to what I would ask about God. If we're accepting that there is a God and God created the universe and God created everything that we know, what was God doing before he created the universe? Right?
Creating other planets,
So
other
I mean,
universes.
that's a simple answer that as it is. I mean,
Yeah,
is that
we aren't the oldest,
Hmm.
universe or planet in
okay?
the galaxy or what is ever beyond the galaxy.
Well, then let me
I think God's been busy for a long time.
Well, then let me I would re-ask it. Say then, what was God doing before the first universe was created? How's that? Okay.
Probably lounging,
Crocheting,
getting ready for a big long ass day.
yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, honey, I won't be back for a long time.
Sorry, there's no vacation this year, this millennium.
No, I'll be back. Oh, I say in during sometime after infinity. But no promises. No promises. It depends on how everything goes.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Mike's starting to shake a
Don't
little
wait up
bit.
for me or hold dinner.
No, please don't. Please don't. It might be rotten by the time I get back. So, well, Mike, I can't thank you enough. You're starting to do the physical shakes, like you're getting a little uncomfortable, and I get it.
Oh,
so
I've been hurting throughout the whole episode, but
I know you are. That's why I
I've been
appreciate
doing
it.
well.
And I appreciate you making the time for it tonight, Mike. Stay in touch though, okay? Throughout the
Yes.
weekend, and let's keep our minds connected as far as podcast topics. I think we have the cool Patreon topic, the next Patreon exclusive topic,
Yes, we do.
selected. So let's focus on that. And Mike, this has been a good one. I hope our listeners have enjoyed this special episode, the Paranormal Plus episode, which is the $5 tier on Patreon, by the way, Paranormal Plus. So, Mike, what do our awesome listeners need to do? You have to say it again.
Good Lord.
You have to say it again because you were making too much damn noise. My audio farted out. No, say what they have to do.
Peace out.